All right guys, so first of all, sorry for dragging this out so long. We've had Christmas and everything else happening in between. We've won Camper Trailer of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. The truck's kind of been put on the back burner, but now we're back into it. The boys have been busy. You saw in the last video, we got the 300mm extension put into the chassis. We've wrapped the truck, we fitted all the suspension, and I had an awesome day out shopping at TJM. Now to show you what we've been doing, all the external accessories have been fitted. Let's go for a walk around. Now they say first impressions last, and when you see this thing coming up the road, it's definitely going to make an impression. Right up the front, we've got all of that TJM bar work that you saw me picking up at the warehouse. We've gone with the Outback steel bar, the side rails, and also the side steps. Now look, why TJM? I had a big collision with a horse last year at over 100 k's an hour up at Cape York, and the only thing that saved me and my truck and continuing that trip was the TJM bar. So why would I go with anything else? 63.5mm tubing at the top, these things definitely look the part. Now they're ADR compliant, they're tested in Australia, and they're airbag compatible. Also with the bar, you get all of the mounts to hold all the accessories. We've got a 12,000 pound winch in the front and all of our X-ray lights. Let's have a look at them. Now if you're into rolling through the nights when you're out west, getting those kilometres banked, there's nothing better or nothing more important on your truck than a good set of lights. Now I've been through the whole lot. Started off with the eBay lights back in the day, progressed through a couple of different brands, but now I've finally found the ultimate, the X-ray lights. These things are unbreakable and they're absolutely amazing when it comes to power. But I've put a really good mixture of both pencil and spreader beams. I'll run you through and show you what I've done. I've got a big pencil LED light bar on the front and a couple of pencil HIDs. This will project the light right down the road up to 2.8 kilometres. I've gone with a 300mm spreader on the angles of the bull bar as well that'll project onto the shoulder of the road. Any animals that are coming in from the side, I'm going to see them before I hit them. I've got their brand new quad optic 1200mm light bar on the top with both a pencil and a spreader beam. Now a couple more accessories that we fitted onto the truck. Obviously we've gone with the snorkel, we've gone with the TJM AirTech. Here's one accessory that probably not a lot of people will consider, but mirrors. These ones here are from Clearview. And what they actually do is they give you 2 lenses. You've got a standard lens, big lens on top, then you've got a small convex lens on the bottom. What it does is completely eliminate blind spots. And let me tell you, after you get used to using these set of mirrors, you forget to start checking your blind spots and looking over your shoulder. They really do work. Another massive advantage, as you know, Patriot campers, we're always towing. We can slide these mirrors out. If we've got one of the big toy haulers on the back, we can see right down the side of the trailer. When we're navigating some really tight tracks, they really help a lot. One of those must-have accessories on any touring truck has got to be a roof rack. And I've chosen the Rhino Rack Pioneer platform. Now the reason I've gone with the Pioneer, well actually there's a couple of reasons. I really like the low profile stance of it. So when I'm not carrying any gear on it, I can still get my truck under car parks. But the amount of accessories that you can get for these things. We've already got over there the shovel holder and the high lift jack holder. You've got all these T-slots in the aluminium extrusion and you can slide in a whole host of different options. You can put up there spare wheels, swags, whatever you like. Really, really good bit of kit. So the next stage of the build, we got the truck down here to Master Tint at Parkwood. Now I've known these guys down here for about 15 years and they've been taking care of my car since I first got my licence. Now the window tinting. With the tint, obviously, number one, it looks good. Black windows, black truck, can't really go wrong. But there's a more important side to it as well. We're going to be running a lot of electronic gear in this car and travelling up north, high heat, a lot of remote destinations. It's imperative that we keep the cabin nice and cool. So with the tint, you get up to a 99% reduction in UV and 70% reduction in heat. All right, so there you have it. Tint job done, back to the workshop. Oh, it's not auto. A really, really important part to remote destination travel is obviously fuel capacity. I've got rid of the standard 130 litre tank and replaced it with this 200 litre unit from Brown Davis. Now the boys down at Brown Davis are synonymous with four-wheel driving. They've been around since back in the 70s. They know a thing or two about fuel tanks. This is a direct bolt-in replacement 200 litre tank. So with the bolt-in replacement job, it means that I'm not going to sacrifice any ground clearance, yeah? Now with 200 litres of fuel capacity, I can definitely stay out there a little bit longer. The boys are starting to put together what really makes the Patriot Supertourer the Supertourer trade. Like everything that we process, this thing is all interlocked, notched, tabbed, riveted together, then fully pulsed MIG welded, all aluminium, maximum strength, lightest weight. So here's where it takes its most exciting turn. This is where the truck actually becomes a Patriot Supertourer, as soon as we fit the body. Now we've taken all of the features from the Patriot Campers range and everything that we've learnt with the engineering over the past 3 years and created a product that's completely unprecedented in the marketplace. Why is it called a Patriot Supertourer? Well, really it starts with all of the storage and the features that we've put into the truck. Realistically, it's a mini camper. You've got 70 litres of water on board with a pressurised pump. You can still have a shower. You've got a little kitchenette in there and tons of storage for clothes, food and whatever gear that you want to carry. Now obviously being a ute, you can still put canopies on the back, dog boxes, or leave it empty and put your favourite toys up there. The construction method that we use is very similar to the Patriot Campers range. We start with ultra lightweight materials, mainly aluminium. Would you believe that this entire body weighs under 350 kilos? Now I've got the 3.8 tonne GVM upgrade on this truck, which means that my load capacity is huge. Our headboard holds our speakers, our high lift jack and max tracks holders. We've also got lights on the headboard to shine on either side of the truck and over the rear of the deck. Another real great feature to note is all of the body panels are replaceable on the Patriot trade. So if you damage a toolbox, you can simply unbolt it, we'll send you out another one and bolt a new one back on. We also have a rear-mounted 12,000 pound TJM winch for any of those situations that you find yourself in where you might have to get pulled out from the back. We've got 5 eyelet tie-down points, and on this one here, I've rhino lined the deck to give a bit more grip for anything that I want to put on the back. And look, let's be honest, how good does this thing look? Alright, so now we're going to start the most exciting part of the build, power upgrades. Now I've been watching these guys for a while, GSL Fabrications, and I don't think there's anybody better in the business at this point in time. The fabrication that's coming out of this shop is absolutely epic. And all you got to do is have a look at the trucks when you're coming in the driveway and you know these guys mean business. We're going to start by putting this thing on the dyno. We'll get a power reading from where we start and we're going to see where it finishes. Okay, so that's the first dyno run, dead standard truck. We've made a max of 100.6 kilowatts and about 325 newton meters of torque. I'll be back here in about a week's time. Let's see what these boys can do. So about a week and a half later, and here I am, I'm back at GSL. The boys are actually in the next room with my car on the dyno right now. They've got all the performance upgrades done and I can't wait to get in there to see what the power figures are. Now, before I do that, I just want to give you a quick run through on all of the upgrades that we've made. Now with any turbo vehicle, what it's all about is forcing compressed cool air into the engine. We're trying to obtain a bigger bang and create more power. Now I haven't touched the turbo on my truck and haven't touched the injectors, and the reason for that is reliability. What I have done though is put in the new HKS FCON computers. Now the difference between these and a plug and play type system is these are fully programmable. So any upgrades that I make to the truck in the future, we bring it back up here, put it on the dyno and tune it to suit. Now, how does a turbo work? Well, look, in its simplest form, what it's doing is it's using the exhaust gas from the car, sits on top of the exhaust manifold, and forces the gas through a turbine wheel at the back. Now, the exhaust driving through this wheel spins the front wheel. It forces air into the intake of the engine. Now, to get that air through, we want to keep it as cool as possible. The cooler the air, the denser it is and the more fuel it can hold. So we use a front mount intercooler. What that does, air flows through, hot air comes through one side, it operates like a radiator. You've got fins in the front, the cool air passing through these tubes, it cools the air, comes out the other side, then into the intake manifold, the new plenum that the boys have done to give us a lot more volume, to really force that air inside there. Now, to get the efficiency out of the turbo, we need to expel that exhaust gas as quick as possible. Give you a bit of an example, here's your standard 79 series dump pipe. This is the dump pipe that we fitted onto the truck. You can see the difference. So obviously the exhaust flow, getting that gas to escape from the vehicle, it's going to be a lot easier. Now we've also changed in there the crossover pipe as well. This is the one that the boys from GSL make up. This is a 2-inch unit which replaces the factory 1.5 inch. To handle all of these power upgrades, really the weakest link in the 79, or the only weak link in the 79 is the clutch. Standard form, you're about 350 Newton meters. We've put in an MPC clutch which will handle up to 1,300 Newton meters. There is not a chance that we're going to fry this clutch. Now the pedal operation on the MPC clutch, absolutely beautiful. I've driven one of these in one of the boys' trucks, and to be honest with you, I think the pedal feels a little bit better than the standard one. So that's a bit of a run through what we've done. Let's go into the next room, have a look at this thing on the dyno and see what sort of power figures it makes. So a 5-inch dump pipe into a 4-inch exhaust. How good does that look? But there's more. Have a listen to this. Alright, so I'm absolutely pumped with that. Look at the power figures. We've gone from 100 kilowatts to 177, and from 300 Newton meters of torque to just under 600. That is a massive 80% increase in power and torque. Now, like I said at the start of this video, nobody knows these trucks better than the boys at GSL. But I tell you what, I cannot wait to get this thing back down to Patriot HQ, get this build wrapped up, because I want to put something on the back and head north. So there you have it, build part 2. All the exterior is done. Only thing left to do now is the interior. And when I say only thing left to do, we've got a lot of gear to fit inside there as well. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll see this truck complete in the not too distant future.